we don't care. Oh, sorry, Dave.
You okay, bud?
Neely, come on around, please. I have him in a down, babe. Neely, down. Yeah. Yeah, he's really good. He went to school for 2 years to research stuff.
That's low.
Yeah, but I now have this concern that when I'm reporting things that are difficult for me, just as a resident, but especially as a disabled resident who's vulnerable in safety situations, right? I can't run away.
Right.
I don't have any upper body strength. I don't even have fine motor control. Right? There is some degree of bias in the responsiveness that Ally is providing when I have safety concerns, whether they're about me or my family. And the way I think about this, officer, is that can come in one of two ways, right? That can be not responding when I need help, or not responding quickly, or sort of the withholding of help and the role that Ally is intended to play in residents' lives, or on the opposite side of that, villainizing us and over-enforcing. Does that make sense? And I mean, we could describe that with a mathematical equation too, and I'm certainly not suggesting that you've done this. But this fear is now deeply instilled in me. And by reporting things that we think violate the rules and regulations and not getting any response, that someone makes a specious complaint, or even a complaint they feel is legitimate, and on the first time they get responsiveness, it makes me feel like I'm being treated unequally, because we have reported hundreds, and I'm not joking, hundreds of incidents over the last couple of years. And maybe they're being logged in the system or not, but we used to drop them off on a thumb drive for Major Alex, and then for a while we were emailing them. And not even one complaint has ever been investigated. Not one. Not death threats. Not fuck you faggot. Not I'll blow your head off. I'll beat the shit out of you. Not homophobic slurs. Not anything. And I'm talking about hundreds. I'm not lying. You can look it up. And if it's not there,
it's in the court records.
I have the receipts that hasn't.
Alex never answers back, or because you know what we do, like me coming to you, I'm gonna listen to you, and then I'll go back and do a report, and then I turn the report into him.
Right. And many of the reports were directly to Alex at that. I think it's Taco Cat something or other email. It's not an official Ally email, but it's the one that was given. And this means one thing to Stephen, because he's on the end of those threats and those slurs, and he feels like he has to record everything because it's dangerous. And we've installed a security system here. And by following the rules, which are to report when things like that happen, It literally hasn't resulted in anything. And again, I don't know you from Adam, you seem very polite. She's the longest person serving at this post.
Oh.
I'm sure you know
I'm
your
sure
job.
I've seen you on the road a few times.
I'm sure you know your
It's
job.
hard to tell through those tinted windows.
Very well. But the numbers don't add up. And as a scientist, as someone, literally I'm a behavioral scientist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That'll work. I'm retired military.
Oh, you, okay, okay, yeah.
I did 26 years.
That's awesome. So as a behavioral scientist, one of the things I studied, just coincidentally, was something called periodic targeting regression. So because it was way back in the day, that's a fancy word for bullying. And now the buzzword is just bullying, right? And I also studied how individuals respond to change and stress. That's my area of scientific expertise. And this is periodic targeting aggression. And nobody, nobody has to like that say police officers wear body cams. It's just, it's legal and that's what they do. And nobody has to like dash cams. But they are built into every modern car, right? And you can go to Costco and buy them for $50, right? It's just a fact of life. But those cameras aren't going to keep me safe. They just document the harm after it's done. So,
Did you explain the situation with Paul Miller?
no, so today, I am more or less homebound. That's why I asked for someone to come get it. Today, Stephen was being tailed by a car for about a half an hour. I'm sorry, a golf cart for about a half an hour. And he finally said, this person's following me, come get me. And, sorry, I'm getting really hot. And so I did. But to get to Stephen, we were going around the traffic circle of Island Club. To get to Stephen, I had to circle that traffic circle a couple of times because that man was following so closely. And he eventually realized that he was also, that I was behind him and continuing to circle the circle. But instead of calling ally, my first instinct was to go myself. Because I don't think that anyone cares or believes us.
It's more than that. It's not that they don't care. They are targeting us.
And
this is coming from the board. This is coming from...
If I could speak,
Go ahead.
please, because my concerns are parallel, but they are distinct. I didn't feel like I could call out ally, and that anybody would go intervene.
And I know that if I call ally, no one's going to intervene.
But I.
Oh, it's well established.
Please, will you let me speak?
Go ahead.
Just if both of you could give me the floor for a minute.
Okay, you've had the floor for quite a while, and the thing needs to be recorded, but go ahead.
So that's it. I'm glad you came. I'm really sorry that your Alex didn't come.
Yeah, he was going to a meeting, so he said, "Liz, can you go?" I could still tell him after the meeting. I told him, I said, "Well, I'll go," and I think after the meeting, I'll suggest to him that he comes because he's the supervisor, and he's responsible for the site, and But do you wanna make a police report?
Well, what I wanted to talk about was this, was not having the same not being believed because of who I am. And because of what I need, and that it might be different from what other people. And it makes me feel not only less equal, but it makes me feel less safe.
Right. The board, has anybody from the board ever come to your house and listened to?
We have.
I'm suing the board for discrimination because of what they've done to me. They also silence me and ignore me. I actually had HUD investigate, and they found in my favor. They found instances of failure to accommodate indiscriminatory practices in facilities and retaliation and hostile environment. Those are enhancements under the Civil Rights Act. And that's currently in court. So yes, I told them that things here aren't fair and that I'm targeted. And the state agrees with me. And now the federal court is hearing that case. But this is separate, right? The board can issue fines or whatever. But Ally's role is to help keep me safe. And when I report, or when we report, and we don't even get a single investigation, out of hundreds of reports, not one, ma'am, I swear to God, not one. And then my husband went to the booth the other day because one of the I'm sorry, so sorry. One of the Comcast vendors had parked blocking our driveway. And he asked them to move, and they moved like 3 feet or something. If I have a medical emergency and need to get in the car, how I load the car is that Stewie has to pull around so that the passenger side of the car is here so I can get in. And if they block the driveway, he can't do that. And so Stephen told him again, they're blocking the driveway. And the guy just said, "It's over, sir. It's over. Move on." My what I needed didn't matter. And it shouldn't be that I'm disabled and need to use my driveway. It should be that vendors shouldn't block driveways.
That's true.
But because Stephen made the complaint, he was told, "It's over, sir. Move on." That kind of thing.
From one of Allied officers?
Yes.
Yes. And so that kind of thing, that directly impacts me.
Did you report it?
What's the point? You guys do nothing about anything.
Yeah, so,
If I need, the procedure is report to
Ally.
Castle. If I go to the guardhouse at the main gate and try to report something, they say you need to report it to Castle. Procedure is report it to Castle, and that's it. There's supposed to be a finding of fact. There's supposed to be consequences for doing
Right.
these things. Nothing ever happens.
But someone can also make a report to Castle, right? They can even drive up and say, someone left a garage door open, something that isn't negative at all, right? We all do that from time to
Except
time.
people get cited for it.
Yeah, but I mean, in case the button did a click or something. So I'm stuck. And today was an example of where I had to weigh my own well-being of getting together to do all this stuff, and the dog, and or calling Allied. And because something important was happening, I couldn't risk non-response.
Well, like I said, when I leave here from you, I'll find Alex, I'll send him a text and tell him I think he personally needs to come over here and see you, so you can talk directly to him of what's going on and how you feel.
And that's the larger pattern, that what happened today isn't okay. And people can see Steven from 50 or 100 yards away and say, oh no, there's the bike guy, let's call Allied. And
Just
you'll-
because I'm there.
And you'll respond. And I can send someone up to the guardhouse to complain about something that's dangerous for me and against the rules and get nothing. Or send 100 reports to Major Alex, copied to whoever happens to be the manager. We had like 5. And it's just nothing. And if it's because I'm involved with a lawsuit with the board and y'all have been told that, that's a problem. If it's just a byproduct of some inefficient process or process that doesn't consider the differences in risk for different people. What if someone was being targeted because they were homosexual, right? It's different than someone being targeted because they say they don't want a budget item for new flowers, right? And it's different to be targeted or ignored and dismissed because one is disabled than just being someone who you think dresses funny or who's hard to understand because they slur or because they don't like dogs. It becomes really personal. And I didn't know, I had never met you before and I didn't know who was coming. But now that you're here, I wonder if that hasn't also happened to you at least one time in your life. And so,
I think everybody goes through something in their life where,
yeah,
I think into the desert, did a lot, seen a lot.
but as a woman of color, I wonder if your sex or your ethnicity have ever changed the way people
Treat you.
treat you, respond to you, and because I've studied periodic targeting aggression from a scientific standpoint, wholly divorced from any factor like that, just describing the behavior of what happens in periodic targeting aggression, which is it's commonly called bullying. It's part of what I know from my academic training, and I can't say that I know that from my personal experience. And I didn't become disabled until I was an adult. So, I didn't know what it was like personally until I became disabled and it started to happen to me. Where I wasn't taken seriously or people didn't even acknowledge that I'm in the room. And probably, I didn't really plan on any sort of emotional vomit. But there's a lot. And I need to know that I'm safe. I need to know that my family is safe. I depend on Stewie for everything. He has to shower with me. That's how dependent I am. And so, if he's not safe, I'm not safe. Or if he's villainized, I'm villainized.
That's true.
I don't want to go into a care home. I want my husband to take care of me. And this, I know you don't have control over other people's behavior. But then they think what they're doing is innocuous, but it's not innocuous. It's not neutral. It's not neutral. And Allied can't view it as neutral because it's not. This is my funny walker. Kind of cool, right? You just,
Yeah, when I first bought it, I thought, oh man,
yeah.
that's a different kind of bike. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a kind of a robust rollator.
Yeah.
It's a walker.
so that I can stand. The seat is right here.
It's up too high because I was using it earlier to train the dog.
And part of that is because when you're using a rollator or a wheelchair, people look down. Like literally physically look down.
So,
So thank you for listening,
And I will definitely pass it on to Alice and I'll tell him that he needs to come by and see you.
so what transpired today was targeted. Paul Miller, we should write this down, was the name of the person who targeted me. Near the end of most of my rides, I go to the covered area up near the pickleball courts. That area is for all community members to use. I sit, I check to see if I missed any emails and phone calls while I was riding. I soak my skull cap, I take the helmet off because it makes me even hotter. I soak my skull cap in ice cold water from the fountain, and I sit there and decide how much further I'm going to ride. Because I have health issues too, and I have to determine whether I'm at the end of what my body will allow me to do for that day. Sometimes when I'm up there are other people up there. Often, Paul Miller is up there. Paul Miller today followed me from, you might want to write this down, 11:39 until, 10:39 until 11:04 in his golf cart, or a golf cart, I don't know, it's his. During that time, I made stops where he just pulled up behind me, and this whole time
let him
he's.
pass.
I pulled up to talk to Deb, see how she was feeling. I pulled over to let him pass. It was obvious he was following me. There were 4 different instances where I pulled over. There were 3 times that I did U-turns and he U-turned to continue following me. There was one point at which I made a right up on that end, from Dogleg onto Valley Bunyan up that end. He waited for me because he knows where I live. All of these people who are targeting know where I live. He knew that I would be coming out the other end of Dogleg. He waited there for me, and Valley Bunyan, and I went up Dogleg. he followed me there. Again, more U-turns, more efforts to shake him. I stopped, I called Deb, told her what was going on, and she came out and she saw him following me around the traffic circle up at the Island Club twice.
Because the bike rack is in the back of the car, and one of the options was that I could have stopped the car and he could have put on the bike rack and loaded the bike, and we could have driven home.
And
I left the line open until I got there because I wanted to hear what was
and
happening.
he can get as much video of me as he wants. He's just going to get a guy riding his bike, not just to the letter of the law, but the intent of the law. I adhere to the traffic laws within here far more than the AUS people do. I see you guys running stop signs all the time.
Anyway,
so yes, I do ride with video going all the time, and especially after the so-called safety committee message, which came directly from Ivan Summers, that said people should take their cell phones out and get video of me. I decided to start wearing a camera, always going, on the back of my hand. So when I see something, whether it's speeding, running a stop sign, I do everything I can to get the face of the person doing it, not just the vehicle, and the plate. If they're going that way, I want to make sure with the various cameras, I've got the best possible way of identifying the vehicle so that we can identify the person who's doing what they're doing. So he stalked me with the intent of intimidating me for, what did I say, 10:39 to 11:04? That was clearly intended to intimidate. I don't care if he has video of me legally riding my bike. I don't care. None of these people should care that they're on video unless they're doing something that they shouldn't be. And if you're running stop signs, passing on blind curves, or speeding, you're not supposed to be doing that. And those things make me and other vulnerable road users more vulnerable and far less safe. The roads out here, this road, the 2 lanes, the full width is under 20 feet. The lanes themselves are 10 feet. There is no way that a cyclist and a motorist can share a lane. You can't pass within that lane. Most of the lanes, the major lanes out here, are at best 11 feet wide. Legends, 11 feet wide. Saddlebrook, 11 feet wide.
so this is a long story, but are you just talking about Paul?
I'm talking about, so the Paul instance was
But that's what
was
she's
targeted.
here to
Okay.
take a report on. I
Okay,
think.
but I'm saying that these lanes are too narrow for people to be behaving the way they are out there. And Paul Miller targeted me with the intent of intimidating me today.
Do you want to make a police report, instead of just talking to Allied? Because
No, the sheriff's office does
No.
nothing.
This is,
The sheriff's office has dismissed a woman who was drunk and struck me twice. They filed charges, they arrested her, but the prosecutor dropped the case. No, this stuff doesn't get addressed.
It really doesn't matter
We
what
have
happened.
been